Hey there, fellow adult collectors, welcome back. David Eon here at Open by Chance, and fresh up from the museum, just wanted to share this with you today, is the complete Chemtoy Fat Albert and the Gang figurine set. And these were produced by Chemtoy in 1973. 1973, and they were sold to go along with the show, obviously, which you see back here. I have most of the series. I do not have part 3 of that disc set. Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids, and then of course the Christmas special, Halloween special, Easter special, and so on. I didn't get volume 3 because volume 3 is when Filmation kind of pushed Cosby out and brought in the Brown Hornet character, and the Brown Hornet character kind of stinks. But I was a big fan of this show growing up. Saturday morning television, I used to watch the Cosby Show all the time, and as a child actually had some of these figurines. I didn't have everybody. I had a handful of them. They were sold primarily in countertop displays. So like a box on the countertop that would contain like 48 of these characters, and they'd sell them for like $0.25 a piece or something like that. It's Fat Albert. And they were also sold on the card. And Chemtoy made a number of figurines. Most notably was the Cosby Kids and DC superheroes like Batman and Superman type stuff. And they were sold loose in countertop displays like this, and they were also sold carded. Now carded, they are extremely rare to find. Now you may have seen them on a blue card. Those are not Chemtoy. Those are from a company called Tedro, and I actually have the complete set of Tedro also, and I'll show you. I just killed Rudy. I'll show you the Tedro card. This is Dumb Donald on a Tedro card, and you see he's much smaller than the Chemtoy Dumb Donald, although it looks like they just kind of copied the mold. These were produced in 1982, and I'll showcase this set in a separate video. On a Chemtoy, I don't have any of these carded on Chemtoy. And by the way, it's very difficult to get some of these to stand up, especially Rudy. He has to lean on his brother Russell here. I'll name them all off for you here in a second. Rudy doesn't want to stand up. Rudy's giving me a hard time, folks. I don't appreciate it. He was always kind of a jerk on the show anyway. I'll show you a picture here real quick. This is what the Chemtoy card should look like. Any Chemtoy figure carded is insanely rare to find in any condition. So that's what they should look like on a traditional green and yellow card produced in 1973, along with their loose countertop counterparts like these figures here. I do have a Chemtoy carded one that I can show you to give you an example of like what the card looks like and how it's set up. That's a Chemtoy card figurine of Robin. Really rudimentary, kind of choppy figure, and you can see he looks like he's played with already, even though he's sealed on the card, and that's because he's just painted that badly. All of them are. So whereas these look like they may have been played with, it's just really bad, cheap paint from the factory in like Hong Kong or wherever these were made. I believe there's a mark on the back. Yeah, Hong Kong, I was right. Which fits with the 70s. Most of this stuff was being done in Hong Kong back then. The cards were printed in the United States, printed and packed in the USA in Cicero, Illinois, it says there, which is probably where all of them were packed, but they were manufactured in Hong Kong. But that's what a carded version looks like, blank on the back. I keep knocking them down. Weird Harold doesn't like to stand up very well anyways. But you have Russell, Rudy, Dumb Donald, Weird Harold, Little Bill, Fat Albert, Mushmouth, and Bucky. And you can find them in various shades and colors. Like I said, they look played with, but they're really kind of not. They always looked that way because the bad paint. They are figurines. They do not move. They're not bendies or anything like that. Now, when I was a kid, the ones that I had were Bucky, Mushmouth, Fat Albert, Dumb Donald, and Russell. I did not have Rudy, Weird Harold, or Little Bill. So I only had 5 out of the set, and these are not my original ones. I had to go and find these again as I got older, and they're not that easy to find. I don't think they're worth like a whole lot of money. Just making the comparison, like if you found these on eBay, you could probably find them, I suppose, fairly reasonably, but they are rare to find even loose. And just to give you an idea of the size here, we'll put you see that they're about 3¼ inches average, with the exception of these two who are a bit taller, about 3¾ inches. Oh no, Rudy is about 3 inches tall. But yeah, you can see there, nobody here is taller than 4 inches. Nice piece of nostalgia. I had to go back and find these again since I had these as a child. Actually, the Little Bill, the Bill Cosby one, is the hardest one to track down out of this set. If you were to find these individually and not sold as a set, sometimes you can find these sold as a set, but Little Bill is the hardest one to track down individually. There's a better idea of just how badly these things are painted. But I don't care about that because I really like these. I really like these a lot. I grew up with Saturday morning cartoons. I'm from that generation. It's a lost generation because nothing like that exists anymore. Saturday morning cartoons is gone. Lunchboxes are gone. It's just us, folks. It's just us. And, we don't do politics on this channel. And you can believe whatever you want about Bill Cosby, but you can't deny the impact that his work had on pop culture. And Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids is really one of the best Saturday morning cartoons ever done, in my opinion. I could watch that right now. That show was funny and entertaining, and it had a good moral perspective to each show. It had a story, a plot, and it had an ethical, moral conclusion to it. Just like Brave Star or He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, which of course Fat Albert was a Filmation production, so that doesn't surprise me. And of course this ran from 1972 to 85. Yeah, it says first 12 episodes broadcast from 1972 to 1973 on CBS. That's correct. I remember watching it on CBS forever. And this is 73 to 75 on the second box set. But I think it was canceled in 85. But by then they were doing the Brown Hornet, and Bill Cosby was no longer directly hosting it like, the Junkyard host thing that he used to do, which I think was just better than the Brown Hornet segments. So what do you think of these? Do you remember these? Where I got them was actually from a Woolworths, out of the counter display at a Woolworths on Harvard Ave in Allston, Massachusetts. I remember. That's also where I got my MASH medical kit. Because, Woolworths was like Family Dollar or Dollar Tree or whatever. They sold, cheap toys mostly. You rarely found, serious toys there. Do you remember these at all? Did you have any of these? Tell me about it in the comments section down below. Share your insight. Were you a fan of the show? Were you around for the Saturday morning era? If you weren't, I would recommend checking it out. It was actually, as far as cartoons go, children's cartoons, it was really one of the best. I think so. And I used to enjoy watching it. So let me know your opinions. What are your thoughts? Is this something you'd be interested in if you didn't have a set of these? Is this something that if you came across it at like a yard sale or a convention or something, would you grab these? I might pick them up again, even though I have them. Just, and maybe I could give them to somebody or trade them to somebody. Or hell, may just have two sets. And remember, I am going to also do a follow-up video to this where I will show you the Tedros, the 1982 Tedro release of the same group. They've only been produced in figure form 4 times. So it was Chemtoy, Tedro, Chemtoy in 1973, Tedro in 1982, White Castle made 4 like kids meal prizes in 1990 of, like I said, just 4 of the characters. And then I think it was Saba Toys in 2005 also made just 4 characters. They never finished the line. So as far as I know, and there could be another one that I just don't know about or I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was just 4 companies that ever produced action figures for Fat Albert. But I'm going to go ahead and stick these back in the museum. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you're new. Join our Patreon family. Lots of cool giveaways on the Patreon channel for the Patreon subscribers. Everything from Patreon goes right back into the subscribers in the form of giveaways. Not living a lavish lifestyle off of Patreon, trust me. Please do check out some of our other videos for more vintage showcases as well as modern unboxings, action figure discussions, vintage toy commercials, and tons of other stuff that we do here. So thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.